Rolling?
Yep.
All right, welcome back. It's the day after the Baja 500, right? Or shoot. All right, welcome back. Another race recap. It's the day after the Baja 400. Currently at Mason, on my way back to Utah, but stopped here, pick up some parts and whatnot. So figured it's easier to film it here because we're still like filmers based out of California still, but I'm based out of Utah. So, but let's jump right into it. So, as you guys all saw, it was probably a little confusing with me racing both trucks or whatnot, but we'll just go mile by mile. So started off 7th in my spec truck in trophy truck, which was, it was a little intimidating. You know, I was lined up behind Bryce in front of Dan McMillan in my little spec. They're like at the start line cleaning their trucks out and it's like, what? My truck's like, it's kind of lame. And then they launch off the line and they're just gone. And I'm like, first gear, just brr. But yeah, so start off normal, like on the highway, like we always do. And no you know, that was good. Ran pretty good on the highway, definitely. I mean, I heard rumors like Walser said his all-wheel drive did like 140 something, I think, where I don't know exactly, but like, you know, my truck, we did like 115 or something. So it was not nearly as fast. But yeah, start off there. What was so incredible, like this story's gonna honestly be boring in the beginning because there was no dust, nothing. So from the first 30 miles to Ojos, 0 dust. Not even like a speck. It was amazing. I'd never experienced, I could actually see the start. I'd never seen the start. Usually there's so many fans, there's so much to do, so much to look at. So that was a little, I was like, wow, this is interesting. But it was awesome. It was nice just like run clean air and like just focus on driving, not focusing on trying to get around other people and not crashing. And so yeah, that was good. Ran good all the way to Ojos. At our first Ojos, which is like the first road crossing, time splits. Bryce Menzies had made 30 seconds on me, which expected, but I had made 30 seconds like corrected time on Dan McMillan, so I was pretty pumped on that. But yeah, from there, so from 30 on, I kind of just kept cruising and just picking off miles and never got past. Just kept kind of logging and keeping it clean all the way through. Yeah, it was pretty uneventful. Picked off Toby Price. He was broken on the side of the road. And then also passed Concrete because they were on the side. They tipped on their side. So by this point I was 5th on the road and just kind of cruising. And came down through the goat trail, all that, very simple. There wasn't much. It was nice. Like I said, there was just no dust. It was mind blowing. Like it felt, there was less people than pre-running. It was just quiet. So it was rad. Like I got to actually drive the race car, but kept it clean, 0 flats, 0 like big mistakes. One little mistake in these big rollers, I kind of charged them too hard and coming in and mistimed them. And I did like a huge wheelie and landed in the bushes and the locals were running everywhere. It was pretty interesting, but it was crazy because I couldn't see and I was like, I think we're going off course. We like landed like right into a bush and I was kind of cruised out, but the locals were running, so it means it was sketchy. But that was really, I mean, the only big mistake. Then, so race mile 120, after coming down the goat trail, I hopped out, gave the truck to Ray. From what I understand, Ray had a pretty great day after that, just cruising. And yeah, he got it all the way to the finish. I don't know what we finished physically, but I think we were like 5th on the road physically or something, somewhere right up front still. We didn't get passed by many people, all things considered. But we ended up 10th overall in that, which for a spec truck on such a short technical course, I'll take it. Because there were sections where I was doing like 85 and I was like, oh, I know if I was in like Walser's all-wheel drive right now, I'd be doing like 115. So like that's a little, you know, different. But basically, so then at 120, I ran ahead. So I jumped out of my pit immediately, didn't even say hi to my guys really, ran down the hill, hopped in, transferred over to race mile 192. All right, just got dropped off at 192. Now I wait for Walser. A little helo ride. His day was good. I think he had 2 flats, but when he gave me the truck, I think they were 10th or 12th physically on the road. So the dust was a little worse. So yeah, I got in at race mile 192, and I was sitting there waiting, and Bryce and Luke came by, and they went by so fast. I was sitting there going, dude, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I'm gonna be honest. I was sitting there with my helmet on, my seat pad, and I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this. Like, I was sweating. I don't get nervous much, but I'm not gonna lie, I was mad nervous. So yeah, they ripped by. At that point, I waited. Walters came in, clean driver change for the most part. I think it was like right around under a minute. They had to fix some window net issues, 2 tires, fuel, Walters pit, they were on it. And yeah, so from there on, hopped in, and right when I hopped in the truck, super tight, technical, silty, big drops and stuff, lots of opportunities to get stuck. So that was a little intimidating, because I was like trying to figure out this all-wheel drive, and it's so dang fast, but it doesn't want to slow down because the weight's a little heavier. Then I'm trying to get used to Rod Walser, who's giving me notes. So it was a lot in the beginning, but got through the technical section, hopped onto the crossover. The crossover was going smooth, and then got a weird leaker flat, which I was a little bummed about, because then we had to pull over and get that changed. It was quick. Rod it got pretty quick, but I was a little frustrated to get a flat, because we were making up time. I could start to catch some dust. So ran that, hopped off as soon as after the crossover, hopped on the coast. Started to feel more in my groove, but was still struggling a little. At that point, caught one of the Legends trucks, passed them, and yeah, started making my way up the coast and just trying to get in the groove. And at that point, we started catching dust of some other, we caught a lot of bikes too around that area. Luckily, we were able to get around those guys, but then started catching, we caught Larry Rossler and the Herbst truck. The Herbst truck, we got by him. I forget how we got by him. I think they went into a pit, or they had a flat, so got by them. But then basically all the way up the coast, all through Arindia, up, and then through San Tomas, and then eventually into Europan. I was just trying to get to Larry Rossler's bumper, but for us, we were going for a finish, so I didn't want to take any big risks. And if you've ever been from Europan over to Ojos, is huge opportunities to make mistakes. It's silty, massive rain ruts, and then there's also cliffs and rocks. So it's kind of like the worst combination to try to push through dust. It's not like, oh, it's a graded road, I can just charge through. No, so I was a little frustrated, because I had just started to get like, okay, I'm figuring out this all-wheel drive, because the all-wheel drive is just heavier, but it's extremely fast at the corners, but you have to approach the corners different. In my spec truck, we're leaning on on the ruts a lot. We're hustling in. And this thing, in the all-wheel drive, you kind of got to be more patient and just get the thing squared up so you can pick up the throttle. Because as soon as you can see the exit and you're ready to go, it goes. Like, where the spec, we're like, all right, come on, girl, let's go. Like, this thing, you're just coming out of corners. It's just, the acceleration's gnarly. And the acceleration in like in the soft stuff, like the silt, that's where it's just, it doesn't even seem real. But so, and then yeah, after we got our flat, we went in and got a re-rack, but unfortunately that tire, the strap broke, so we lost our tire that we just re-racked. So then we pulled into a pit right before Europan. They gave us fuel, and then they tried re-racking, but they decided it wasn't worth the time to try to fix the strap. So we went in. So in the dust, trying to chase down Larry Rosser, one tire in a super technical area. I just made the decision to cruise to the finish, which I was bummed, because I feel like we could have made a lot of time, because I was really starting to feel good in that truck, and like, oh, this is how you drive an all-wheel drive. In the beginning, the truck was kind of driving me. So just got through that, and then yeah, dropped in through Ojos, and then from Ojos dropped down to the finish, and we just kind of sat just in that space. When I knew there would be an area, I'd charge up onto Larry's bumper and see if I could get, there was an opportunity, but it just never, the cards never were dealt in our right hand. So Yeah, right at the end, we just kind of cruised right on the edge of their dust, and then right at the end and where I knew the end of the speed zone would be, I charged all the way to the dust as far as I could see just to try to make up time. But then, like, as soon as we hit the speed zone, Larry was just, I don't know, 5 seconds in front of me, which it's frustrating because you get so close, but you can't, and you know you're faster. And that's what I even talked to Larry at the end, and he was like, I know I was holding you up, but it's racing. So makes sense. I mean, I would never have pulled over either. So it was kind of funny though, because we pre-ran and me and Larry got stuck in in Europan. There was a log jam and he was right in front of me, and then so he's like, I'll race you to Ojos. So it was like identical to what we pre-ran. That's what he's like, yeah, I'd come around these 180 corners and you'd be in the same spot as when we were in pre-running. So it was kind of fun. But I was in pre-running, he pulled over because he had to pee right at the end, so I passed him. So I was joking with Rod, who was riding. I'm like, dude, when's Larry gonna have to pee again? He's got to pull over. But all through there, I mean, it was smooth. No big complaints. I mean, yeah, it was such a smooth race. And like when you're running up front, you're not battling as much chaos, I feel like. I was happy, super thankful to Rod Walser and Mike Walser. Rod for riding with me, and then Mike for this opportunity. And thankful for Ray Griffith for getting me my truck to the finish. And I think we proved a lot of people what a spec truck's capable of if we're not in the dust. But if you have any questions, let us know. Drop a comment down below, and Ben will make this thing look good with adding some sick footage. But overall today was, the race day was good. You know, 7th and 10th. Usually I would not be happy about that, but given the conditions, you know, Walser started 17th, so we made up a lot of time there. And yeah, learned a ton for the Baja 1000, which, you know, that's our ultimate goal, is this Baja 1000. And now I feel getting this race, like I said, moments before I got in the truck, I was nervous. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And then now I can confidently get in the truck at the 1000 and go, okay, I can run the pace, you know, and have that, oh, do you want me to turn it up? Do you want me to turn it down? And, you know, and run with the big boys. I think we have the ability to now, and still a ton to learn, you know, for the future, but I'm excited. I think we got a really good team playing out with me, Mike, and Ray for the 1000. We don't know the exact, you know, if I'm going to start or finish or what it's going to be, but I'm excited. And yeah, that's a wrap. I got to go back to Utah. So see you guys.